Hello, loves, and happy Sunday to you. I am not usually coming to you on a Sunday, but I just was feeling kind of inspired today. My dog here is helping me, as usual. And I just wanted to pop in here quick and tell you a little bit about what I've been thinking about this week, about the difference between inspiration and guidance as entrepreneurs. Now, if you run a business, if you're an entrepreneur of any kind, you probably have felt inspired at some point. There was some idea, something that came into your mind that inspired you to start your business, something that sounded cool, something that sounded like it could make money, change the world, and you acted on that. You felt that sense of excitement and adrenaline rush maybe that we get sometimes in the early stages of our business, and you went for it, and decided to create a business around it. And that's a beautiful thing. That kind of inspiration is wonderful. But there comes a point, I think, in the life of our business where we can't rely quite as heavily on that excitement, that adrenaline rush, that cool feeling of inspiration to move us forward. And that's the point at which we have to start to kind of lean on guidance, and specifically lean on our inner guidance, our inner GPS, if you will, that guidance system that we all have. And especially if you're an entrepreneur, I believe, I'm banged my little microphone. I'm not used to this. This is a new thing for me. So sorry about that. I believe that if you are an entrepreneur, it's inborn. You were born with this inner guidance system. And really, every person is. But as an entrepreneur, I believe you have it very strongly. And if you feel stuck at any point in your business, if you're having difficulty making a decision, if you're having difficulty knowing which path to take, which way to go, sometimes what happens is that we start thinking we need to be inspired, and we start waiting for some external thing to happen, some sign, some person to intervene, just something to... She's throwing her Kong at me. Will you stop, please? Something to happen outside of us to give us the inspiration to know where to go. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work. And what it does, okay, now, yes, occasionally will you get some kind of inspiration and have it cause you to go in a certain direction? Absolutely. It can happen. But for the most part, leaning on inspiration and feeling like you need to be inspired to take the next step in your business or to go to the next level is a recipe for disaster, because what happens is it will set you up to be in waiting mode for months, years. I mean, it can be forever that you're waiting for that inspiration, for something outside of you to give you that woo feeling and like, yes, I know where I'm going to go. It's fabulous when it happens, but it's not practical to wait for that all the time. Instead, I want you to begin to really think in terms of leaning on your inner GPS. And you say, well, how do I do that? If I have this, inner GPS thing, why am I struggling to make this decision? Why am I struggling to know what comes next for me or what I need to do to move forward in my business? And my answer to that is, you need to find a method that works for you to help you tune into that inner GPS. And these can be different for everybody. There are different things that work better for some people than others. But one thing that is universally effective is connecting with yourself through nature. Being in the outdoors. There is something about being in green spaces and also under blue sky. That's another thing. That's one of the reasons that creativity is associated with the color blue. And you can look that up and learn more about that, but that's been scientifically proven. So where do you find more blue than right above us, right? So being in green spaces, being under a blue sky, And listen, I am not necessarily talking about taking a long walk, taking the afternoon off to stroll around, although I advocate walks always. And some of the smartest, most effective entrepreneurs ever were walkers and take walks regularly. But it's not that so much as just allowing yourself to go outside if you are able. And if you're not able, for whatever reason, you can actually just expose yourself to natural images and natural elements. A plant can even help do this for you. Because what it does is it allows the surface of our inner lake, if you will, to just settle. We're constantly dropping pebbles in that lake. We're constantly with our thoughts. We're like, oh, maybe this will work. Maybe that'll work. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. And what happens is the surface of that lake is constantly rippling with all the pebbles that we're dropping in. And the way to tune into that inner GPS and get inner guidance and not have to rely on waiting forever for inspiration to strike is to let the surface of that lake get really, really calm. Because the good ideas, the guidance, it's down below. To take our analogy a little bit further, if you're thinking about the surface of that lake, the guidance, it comes up from underneath. And you can't access it. You can't notice it or know that it's coming up and that it's there if the surface of the lake is constantly rippled. So what being in nature does for us and taking walks does for us is it allows our minds to quiet, and it allows all the busy thinking to just settle for a little while. And that is what opens us up to guidance. So when you are in that state, when you're being quiet and you're just hanging out, maybe you're sitting on your deck like I am, or maybe you're taking a walk, maybe you're even gardening, whatever it is that you like to do in the outdoors, and it's perfectly fine to just sit, to just stand for a few minutes, get away from your desk and be in a green space, or sit with your green plant, look at your fish tank, listen to the sound of your desk fountain, whatever it takes to get that mind quiet, and then begin to just listen to yourself. It's something that I think as entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurial women specifically, we don't do enough of. We don't do enough of listening to ourselves and truly trusting what comes up. We second guess ourselves all the time. But I'm telling you what, when you're tuned in to that inner GPS and you're really listening to that, what you hear, that's truth. That's real guidance. That's wisdom. And that's what will take your business and your life to the next level. All right, that's it for me today. Thanks for indulging me and letting me come to you on a Sunday. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I will be back with more next week. See ya.